Hey, welcome back, Cyclone Fanatics. It's a beautiful Wednesday, and you're all amped up because Tron Smith is back.
Once again, buddy.
Talking with Tron. Here at Wilson Toyota and Tron, the countdown has begun to get rid of the Cyclone Tundra. Am I wrong?
Man,
Explain to the people, because this beautiful truck is going to, well, not be destroyed, but it's going to be stripped of its Cyclone dignity here pretty quickly.
The owners here, they went through so much to build this vehicle, and, just to make it nothing but Cyclone. Fanatics, end of the week here, we're going to be taking this thing apart. We're going to strip it down. It's just going to be a normal Tundra. We offering 0% financing on this truck. The leasing program, I think we talked about this, is outstanding. You know what? I can put you in that truck for $560 a month on a lease. That's just perfect. Come in and see us, 2212 South Duff Avenue, Wilson Toyota. Come in and ask me. I'll show you what I can do for you.
Tron will work it out for you, but the truck, like I say, the days are numbered at this point in time.
It is count. You know why? Because there's another one coming, buddy.
Yeah, and this one, what color is this one going to be? Can you say?
You know what?
Can you disclose that information?
I cannot.
Okay.
Some things you
right.
got to wait and see.
All right. Well, we're waiting and seeing. Well, I guess we'll see it on kickoff this year, September 2nd.
Oh, man.
Northern Illinois, and that's where we're going to start today, Tron. The last week, I've been kind of doing preliminary previews. As of course, we're going to have a whole lot more on these first two games and the rest of the games on Iowa State's schedule as we get closer to kickoff. We're going to start today with Northern Illinois and get Tron's take on it. Fanatics, I've been warning you for months, and it's still not clicking with some of you. I mean, this is a tough game. And I'll say this, Tron, if Iowa State shows up and play like they did the first time out last year, they will lose, and they will lose by double digits to this very good Northern Illinois team.
You know what? There's no doubt about it. This is no cupcake run here. Everybody, you know what? Think about it. All offseason, other than all the expansions and all that weird, crazy stuff, we've been looking at our schedule. When they said we had a tough schedule, that included Northern Illinois. You know what? This team is the best team in the MAC. This is no easy cakewalk. The best running back, the best quarterback, the offensive line is great. This is a great ball club. So, Fanatics, you go into this game thinking, hey, you know what? I'm just going to get obliterated and just know that we're going to win this game by 20 points. Don't be surprised if you look up at halftime and we're chasing.
So, I'm assuming you're like me, Tron, where you still think Iowa State will win the game. But, okay, it bothers me, though, when I have like a Northern Illinois writer come on the site and he's very, I don't want to say he's critical, but he expects his team to win. And then we get a bunch of Fanatics chiming in and they're like, we'll win this game by 30.
You know what?
That's not realistic, and that's why you melt down after losses.
This is what I'll say, Chris, and always remember I told you this. Fans, listen. If it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it's a duck, okay? Look at the stats on this team. This team is for real, okay? The writer, his job is to say, because he's a writer for there, that, hey, my team's going to win, just like we're saying we're going to win. I think they're a little more realistic, though. They know it's not going to be an easy game, but they also know that they can win this game. Listen, Chris, it can happen. You know what? I hate to say that because I'm just like you.
Yeah.
Yes, I hope we win this game. But you know what? Don't expect to see a 21-point, win there.
You picking a Cyclone win, though?
I am picking a Cyclone win.
Okay. Tron's picking Iowa State to start off the season 1-0. Then you roll into Iowa. Yesterday we heard from John Miller of HawkeyeNation.com with his thoughts on the battle for the Cy-Hawk Trophy. Listen, I like to consider myself a little bit of a Cyclone homer. Okay, a lot of one. But I also like to consider myself a realist. I don't see any way Iowa State rolls into Kinnick. I mean, it's going to have to be perfect storm, kind of like what Northern Iowa got last year, except they couldn't finish the job against Iowa. Going to have to be something like that for Iowa State to pull off the upset.
I agree, Chris. It's hard for me to say we're not going to win that game because you know what? I'm not like some of you guys. I'm not the guy that say, you know what, if we just win that game, I want us to win all the games if possible. We know that's not going to happen. Will we beat Iowa and Iowa City? I'm not going to answer that. I tell you what, I want to see our offense. I want to see how well. And I told another guy this, Chris. I said, listen, if we can't keep Northern Illinois out of the end zone, it's going to be a long day in Iowa City.
You're right. And you got to focus in, too, on Iowa's. Here's the deal. Iowa State's defensive line is probably the weakest part of the team. We all know that. Luckily, there are some question marks with the Iowa offensive line. And as John pointed out, it generally takes the Hawkeyes 4 to 6 games to really get clicking. That could be a case there where Iowa's receivers don't really just blow me away when you match them up against the Iowa State secondary. It could happen. It could happen.
I tell you, it's the perfect storm if you look at it. The cold air is coming in here, the hot air is coming in here. Think about it. They're thinking about going to Arizona. When you read everything in Iowa City right now, that is the game they're looking at right now. They're forgetting the first two games. It's early in the season. They don't think that we can go in there and beat them. Let's just 14 quarters since we scored a touchdown. I don't think we're going to have a problem with that this year. I think we can put the ball in the end zone. You know what? I'm worried about the defensive line. I think our linebackers are a little better, and I say that because of this. Last year, Chris, before the season, everyone had the same story. The offense is going to put up 50 points. The defense is going to have to keep them out of the end zone. I think we all worried about that. We got surprised because our defense actually turned out to be a pretty solid defense. Mm-hmm. Our offense struggled a little bit. Hopefully our offense can put up 50 points.
Well, they've
not on Iowa, but I think they'll put up 50-some points.
They've got all the ingredients to do so. A veteran quarterback, who some consider the best running back in the Big 12, one of the best offensive lines in the Big 12. Stranger things have happened. Tron, before we go, I want to get your take on one more thing. I don't want to throw you off here because we didn't talk about this, but Royce White is an Iowa State Cyclone. We still haven't gotten your take on this. What's your take on this?
I'm going to tell you my take.
I'm interested in this.
Because me, I always got something, pretty interesting to say. This is what I think about Royce White, Fanatic fans. Just remember this. He's one of us now. I don't care what he did in Minnesota. I don't care what happened there. Right now, he is a Cyclone. So what we need to do is embrace him. We don't know this kid's history. Only thing we know is that he wants to be a Cyclone. You know what? All these kids that leave our program say the same thing. We love our fans. Let's not judge this kid. We know he can play basketball. Who knows, Chris? We don't know what the kid's situation is. So just remember, before you point your finger, look in the mirror.
Well, and that's my deal too. And I like to think I've been pretty consistent on the Royce White scenario because it's really hard for me. 26-year-old dude lives in a nice apartment with my wife in Ames, Iowa. I had a great family growing up. It's really hard for me to sit there and just persecute a kid who I've never met, never had the ability to, I've never had the option to sit one-on-one and talk with him like Fred Hoiberg did, like Jamie Pollard did. At some point, you can be critical, but you also have to trust the people making decisions for your program.
You know what? I trust Jamie. You guys already know I'm a big Pollard fan. I think he's done a great job with all the coaches. We all love Fred. So these guys know what they're doing. They looked at this situation from start to finish. They made a good decision. My thing is this, and I'll say it again, Fanatics, listen, let's embrace this kid. Let's not get on these message boards and let's not kill him. Trust me, he's going to get enough of that from the Hawkeye Nation deal. So let's make sure we embrace him and understand that right now, regardless of what he did, from where he came from, he is a Cyclone. Period.
I was looking forward to that. I had a feeling that Tron was going to have an opinion on that. Everybody, this week's edition of Talking with Tron, remember the Cyclone Tundra, its time on this earth is limited. It's hooked up to a respirator right now, and this thing is just hanging by a thread. If you want a shot at it, you got to get the Tron this week.
Come down, let's drive it, let's see what we can do. Don't count yourself out. You'll be amazed at what a little creative financing can do. 0% financing is huge. We can do a lot of things. Come and see us here at Wilson Toyota, 2212 South Duff Avenue, 515-232-4081. Ask for Tron.
All right, Tron, you got anything else for us today, my man?
Fanatics, is glad to be with you again. We always look forward to doing this. Chris always gets me in trouble, and I enjoy it.
Well, we did get in some big trouble with Iowa fans last video.
Was that great or what?
Well, and you know what? It was just petty, dumb crap that they were throwing at us.
I love it.
It's like, you really don't know who Adrian... Yeah, we know who Adrian Claiborne is. It was a joke, people. A joke.
It was about as good as a joke as he said when he said there's only one team in Iowa.
Yeah. Nobody goes, Adrian, do you really not know about Iowa State? No! Why do you do that to us? It's stupid. Waste your time doing something else. I'm sorry, that bothered me.
Man, you can say whatever you want, Chris. You're with me.
Exactly. You want to deal with me, you got to get through him first. Tron, we'll see you in a couple weeks, my man. Tron Smith here at Wilson Toyota. Come by the Cyclone Tundra. Its time is limited, and it needs a new owner. It's like a little puppy without a home right now.
That's bad.
It needs to be saved. Everybody take care. We'll see you here in a couple weeks.